Good day, fellow Biafrans. This is Elijah Sulis, the international lobbyist for the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, represented by His Excellency, Acting Prime Minister Ogochukwu Nekere. It has been a while. It's taken a bit for me to do another video. I've been very busy the past month, but I'm returning to doing my videos and will be doing so with more frequency. I think this episode will be one that'll be extremely helpful for all of you. And this episode will be focused on an important topic, which is explaining or clarifying the roadmap to Biafra. One of the major issues that I realized that I anticipated before the convention in Finland, and we saw in the aftermath of the convention, is that unfortunately there was not a complete understanding amongst some Biafrans of the purpose of the convention, understanding what is the United States of Biafra, and understanding what the Biafra government is doing. I had concerns even before the November 29th to December 2nd convention in Finland. And I expressed these to Simon at the time, that some Biafrans really didn't understand the meaning of December 2nd or United States of Biafra or the processes that the Biafra government was doing, and that the Biafra government needed to do more to explain that process to Biafrans. And Simon did, in his speeches and such, touch upon some of these topics, but it was clear that many still lacked understanding. For example, after the convention, I received some very angry messages that showed this lack of understanding. Some Biafrans attacking me, saying, "Oh, don't you know we're a nation now?" Even some attacking me, saying, "Don't you know we're a government now?" Which, again, doesn't make any sense. The Biafra Republic Government in Exile was created in the spring of 2023. So are those who were saying that the Biafra government before the convention wasn't a government? So it shows that there's a complete lacking of understanding. So I'm hoping that through this communication, we can bridge that gap and help get clarity for those who don't have that clarity. Because I always had the concern, even before the convention, that some of the Biafrans who didn't understand exactly what the government is doing to achieve the goal of nationhood would have their own emotional fantasies that after December 2nd, on December 3rd, Biafra would descend from the sky, and that's it. So I'm going to put this in such a way that's easy to understand for all Biafrans, and even those out there who are the most clueless will understand the process. So, what is the goal, right? When we talk about United States of Biafra, what is the United States of Biafra? Our goal is to establish a Biafran nation state, one that has full control of its territory, exercises full sovereignty, and as a nation is therefore recognized by the international community. How do we go about that? An acronym that I'm going to use that's going to make things very easy for you to understand is what I call the 3 R's. The 3 R's. The 3 R's being, number 1, redeclaration. Number 2, restoration. Number 3, recognition. The convention in Finland from November 29th to December 2nd was only one part of a multi-tiered process. The part of the problem is I think some Biafrans got so emotionally attached to December 2nd, emotionally attached to the convention, that in their own mind, they put everything else aside, and they thought that the declaration itself was the end-all, be-all, that we declare Biafra and that's it. Simon never said that. The government never said that. But I think some of you, being so emotional and not really thinking logically and rationally and using your reasoning, came to some different conclusion, ignoring a lot of the things that Simon was telling you because of your own emotions and what have you. The purpose of the redeclaration is to make it clear to the international community that we are pursuing the establishment of a Biafran nation state. After the declaration, or the redeclaration, from November 29th to December 3rd, with the declaration of Biafra on December 2nd, the next goal is to pursue full restoration, because right now the Biafran forces have some control of the territory, but they don't have full control of Biafra land territory. So the next goal is to achieve full sovereignty, which means full territorial control of Biafra by the Biafran forces on the ground. Finally, after you have a restoration where you are able to exercise full sovereignty, you've declared your intention to establish the Biafra nation state, the last step is recognition. Why is recognition important? If you don't have recognition, you're simply a self-governing territory. Case in point being Somaliland. They exercise full sovereignty, they have full control of their territory, they have their own government, they've had multiple elections, transitions of power, and so forth. But because they're not recognized as a country by any country in the international community, they are not able to have the full benefits of sovereignty. For example, because they're not recognized as a country by the international community, whether it's the U.S. or the United Nations, other countries, they're not able to fully benefit, for example, from the international financial system. They're not able to get into certain programs, so on and so forth. That is why Somaliland is very aggressively pursuing its recognition. It's been undergoing an extremely intense lobbying campaign in the United States, and they have a lot of momentum. There's a very good chance that the Trump administration will recognize Somaliland as the newest nation in Africa. And Somaliland has offered very good terms to the United States in terms of military deals, defense deals, access to military bases and ports, etc. So that is what we're trying to achieve. And I think the way to envision it is, and another attack, which never really made sense. And by the way, this is not personal to me. If Simon was not detained, some of these emotional Biafrans who didn't have any understanding of what I just explained to you would have attacked Simon in anger or in their emotions, not understanding what any of this is. So again, I'm not offended anyway. I know a lot of these attacks came out of emotion of not understanding the dynamics of how we're going to achieve Biafra. But it's our job as, let's say, a government or me as a lobbyist to explain this to you so you have that proper understanding and can have a conceptual basis for knowing exactly what it is that we're trying to achieve in our efforts. And so, that's really the key is to understand the 3 R's. I think I'm putting it in such a way that everyone out there is able to comprehend how it is and what it is that we're trying to achieve. And another analogy I'll use that will be very helpful for you is, some people who are very upset with me after the convention, or not upset with me, but just upset generally, and then they externalize that anger into lashing out at me and other people, is I've received a lot of comments saying, "Oh, Elias, we're no longer Briggy, we are USB." Let me explain this to you. United States of Biafra is the destination. What is United States Biafra? It's a fully established Biafran nation state that exercises full sovereignty.
All right, wonderful people, welcome back to this wonderful channel where I'll bring you back-to-back updates and information as to the hot. In case you have not joined our social media handle, what are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share. Of course, you know that this platform will bring you information as to the hot. The man on your screen is the Biafra government in exile, Biafra Republic government in exile, lobbyists. There has been a lot of commotion, a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of biases with the government of the Biafra Republic government in exile and that of the United States of Biafra. After November last year, when the Biafra referendum meeting was held, conference was held, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze declared the United States of Biafra, saying that the Biafrans has moved from Biafra Republic government in exile, that they have now become a full government. And after that, that has brought a lot of issue. There has been a division in the house. Ogenkere, Sonny Akbarawa, Vam, and the rest of them chose their own path and decided that they will still remain in the Biafra Republic government in exile, since Biafra has not yet gotten her full independence. It has not yet gotten her full sovereignty. It has not yet have authority in the homeland. Everything that is being done, both the offices, the liaison offices that were being used, all of these are still outside the country, that Biafrans have not yet come back home to dominate their government. But on the part of Ngozi Orabueze maintained that the purpose of the conference was to declare the United States of Biafra according to Mazi Simon Ekpa'S vision, that according to him, after the referendum conference of the 2024, which took place from November 29th to December, that what should be done is to declare the United States of Biafra. And Ngozi Orabueze herself took her stand on this, maintaining that the Biafra Liberation government in exile has ended, that it is now time for the Biafra United States of Biafra, that the Biafrans have now gotten their own autonomy and have now become a sovereign nation. Now, what Alex is trying to explain here, I believe some of you had him, but for some of you who find it hard to understand or hear what he was saying because of his intonation, his deep intonation or his twisted intonation, he was trying to say that the problem is that according to him, he wants everybody to come back together. He wants peace, he wants unity, he wants things to be done according as it should be done, because that now Biafra has not yet gotten her sovereignty, due to that Biafra has not been recognized by the world powers. Of course, what makes a nation, first of all, is that nation's recognition. If a nation is recognized by world powers, by other nations, by other countries, that is to say that this nation has had its sovereignty. And when you talk about sovereignty, of course, sovereignty is not what you just decide by yourself, that now that a nation has become sovereign. Sovereignty deals with landmark, it deals with airspace, it deals with water space, it deals with currency, it deals with government, it deals with a proper government, set up government. Even though that the Biafrans has had a government which has been running, even there has been a government running the Biafra Liberation government in exile that ushered in the conference of the referendum that Ngozi Orabueze declared the United States of Biafra, that is causing the issue now that everybody is now divided. And a lot of people are of this opinion that this issue of division is not just about the Biafra Republic government in exile, or the issue of United States of Biafra, but the issue is who is going to be managing the funds. That's what some people's opinion. Let me not say everybody's opinion, some people's opinion, because ever since the referendum declaration that Simon Ekpa was arrested, before the declaration, Simon Ekpa was arrested, and up until now, nobody has heard from Simon. Nobody has known his full offense. He's not there because our people say that ade keep no ofuonye or Igbo council. They keep no ofuonye. You don't judge. That is what is called one-sided judgment. People have not yet heard from the horse's mouth, Simon Ekpa himself, why he was actually arrested by the Finnish government. Now, ever since the arrest of Ekpa, then before Ekpa was arrested, what is his name? Ogenkere and his team. I think Ogenkere was the finance minister, and Ngozi Arabeze was the ADPM. And now, after the declaration, Ogenkere moved from the finance minister, came up to took office, to become the acting prime minister, which is not feasible. I think that what should have happened is that these people should have put heads together. If not the issue of money, if not the issue of who controls the finances, if not the issue of who becomes the boss, that the finances runs through him or her, why the division in the house? Because one thing that could divide a people like this is the issue of money. If it's just about who becomes the head or just making things work, maybe that they are fighting to work out things for the government, I think that should have been a different case. There should have been a different approach to this particular matter. But from every indication, it looks as if that the case here is the issue of money, because ever since that time it has been fundraising. You see Igwe Butuzo coming up with his own story. You see Gento the Yahoo coming up with story. You see the one called Remy Juice, Remy Oyanango Juice. Everybody coming up with different stories. People are fighting who to take sides with. But people like us, a lot of people have refused to take side on this thing until everything is well clear and people will know what is actually happening. Because the only person to give the correct story of what is actually happening in that house now, the house of the Biafra Liberation Army, in the house of the Biafra Republic government in exile, and that of the USB, is Mazi Simon Ekpa himself, until he comes out to explain the people and speak. That's when I think a lot of people will be able to know whose sides they should follow. But until that, everything still remains as it is, and I believe that I've been able to guide you, to explain to you what this man is trying to talk about. Alright, this is where I'll be winding down the curtain, and if this is your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news is dropping, you will be the first to collect it. Thank you for listening. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.